So just a bit less than 1 month to go before the greatest rivalry, which, by the way, is it really the greatest rivalry? Isn't Australia versus All Blacks historically the biggest rivalry? Or maybe France against England or England against Wales? That's the first debate I want to raise. Let me know in the comments. But South Africa versus New Zealand is definitely the most anticipated rugby series probably in 2026 and over the last few years anyway. I'm so glad that this is happening instead of the Rugby Championship. And I've made a few videos. Let me make sure I don't step into some dog turd. The dog has been misbehaved recently, doing her nasty stuff where she shouldn't be doing it. Anyway, this game, or these games should I say, are going to be crazy. I've never looked forward to a 4-test series as much as this in rugby in recent times. And in today's video, I've prepared quite a few things. I want to go through a combined 15 where I look at sort of all the different positions and who the best player is that both New Zealand and South Africa have available. And yeah, just talk about that a bit because both teams are stacked. I've just seen the squads released by Rassie and by Rennie. Yeah, that's definitely the pinnacle, sort of the peak of rugby, and it's going to be very, very interesting. So I'm gonna just finish my walk. I'll catch you at my desk where I have my combined 15 in front of me, and we'll be able to talk about it, and you can let me know what you think in the comments. By the way, I wish this series would kick off before end of August, but we're gonna have to count the days, I guess. Let's start at 15. 15 was not the toughest of choices because I really like Damian Willemse. I think he's top class. I would hate to have to defend against him one-on-one. He's got some nasty sidesteps. The guy knows his rugby. Nightmare for a lot of defenders. I've seen him shine with the Stormers. He's a very good leader for the Stormers. Each time the Stormers have played away and there's no Willemse, I always feel slightly concerned for the Stormers, especially in the Champions Cup. When Damian Willemse is there, though, he looks like a good leader, a true leader, someone that can carry the Stormers. And I'm sure it's the same for South Africa, right? He's an important figure on and off the pitch, and yeah, great addition to this squad. I don't think that I would choose anyone else but Damian for the 15 of this combined men's squad. 14. Now 14 is quite a tough one because shall I give you a spoiler alert? Yeah, 11 I put Colby. So the debate really was between Will Jordan, who I love, who I think is good, but I don't know if he's good enough defensively. I don't know if he's good enough as kind of a leader, someone that can really impose his game. I think he's just, he works well in the All Black system. He gets good ball, he gets good opportunities, but I don't know if he, for example, if he played for any other country, he'd be in the squad. Does that make sense? I don't think he'd make it for the French squad. I'm just giving you an example. I don't even think he'd make it in the South African starting 15. But there's something I like about him, and he just plays very well within the New Zealand system, within the All Blacks team. So I'm going to go for Will Jordan over Curtly Arendse. I'm not considering any other Springbok wingers because apart from Arendse at 14, I'm not a fan of Van der Merwe. I'm not a fan of Ethan Hooker. So to cut it simple, we'll go for Will Jordan. I think he will do very well in this series, hopefully. I like his pace, really. I mean, that's a good thing. If he cuts through the defence, good luck finding the guy before the try line. 13, Jesse Krill. Love the guy. Just an insane athlete. There's not much to say here. I just think he's an extremely disciplined athlete. The guy's built. He's sizzled. I mean, he's just a good player. He's just a good player, and he's perfect for South Africa. So, I mean, I don't have much to say, really. Then I want to move on to 12. 12 was a tough one. But I will go for Damien Dialende. Now, this might upset a few Geordie Barrett fans, and I don't know. It was a really tough one, but Geordie Barrett, I don't know. Maybe I didn't see him play enough for the All Blacks recently. I've seen him play for Leinster, and I wasn't too convinced. I know he was back in Super Rugby this year. I didn't see much of him, but he did win the title, right? He was playing for the Hurricanes. Am I not making any mistakes? So this is a really 50-50 call, but I'm also a big fan of Damien Dialende. I'm a fan of him because he is fearless, he is strong, he's got different assets compared to Geordie Barrett. Dialende is more physical, hurts the line, he really comes in and hurts his opponents, always makes yards, etc. He's a different kind of centre, but I prefer him on the day. If I had to pick between two and put a squad on the line that's going to defend, my life or whatever silly scenario you put in place to decide, right? I'm like, okay, I need a team to beat another team so I stay alive, or whatever kids go through in their minds. I would have to pick Dealer Day. I think he's incredible. Let me know, All Blacks fans. Do you like Geordie Barrett, or do you think he's maybe past his prime? I don't know. Tell me. 11, Colby. No suspense there. Great player. There we go. Now, 10 and 9. Let me take the time here. All of my notes are already made, but I just want to explain why I picked both Sasha Feinberg in Ngomazulu and Cam Roigard. I picked both because, first of all, Sasha Feinberg, I think he is extremely talented. He will get better as time goes on with the box. And the All Blacks, I'm sorry, I'm not convinced about I was going to say Rupert Lowe, oh my God. Ruben Love, right? Ruben Love, not convinced. I would love to see Richie Mo'unga. What's the update on him? Is he allowed to play? I'm not too sure. Because he was having a stint in Japan, right? If Mo'unga was available and I'd seen enough of him in the last 2 years, I'd probably pick Mo'unga because I've always been a fan of him. He's great. But it's going to have to be Sasha Feinberg just because there is no good option for New Zealand right now. I'm just not a fan of New Zealand 10s, to be honest. And I didn't consider Manny Libok, Andre Pollard, because I just don't think they're as good as Sasha Feinberg. So also that's a good one to discuss in the comments. Who's the starting 10 for South Africa? Is it him, or is it Pollard, or is it Libok? I don't suppose it's going to be Vusi Moyo or Kuanorn or I don't know who else there is really. Let me know. Let's get into the forwards. Number 8. Does it come as a surprise? Ardie Savea. I just love the man on and off the field, especially off the field. I think he's a great leader. He's a good guy. He's a good representation of the All Blacks' power and a really respectful person and just a good guy off the field. So Ardie Savea is going to be number 8 for me. Number 7, as I was reviewing the New Zealanders, I wasn't too convinced. So I'm going for Sia Khaleesi for 2 reasons. I think he's a good captain and a good icon for South Africa. And I also think he's a great player. I really do. So Sia Khaleesi at 7. At 6 and 5, once again, I had to go for South African players. Number 6, we're going to go for Pieter-Steph Dutoit, French name. I love the guy. I think he's just a brute, the guy sort of... I always like it because he speaks, I don't know. He does speak English, right? But you can tell he's an Afrikaner. You can tell that he would like to speak in Afrikaans to the refs. When they ask him, what do you want to do with a penalty? He sort of says, scrum, with his Afrikaner accent. And I love it. I think it's great. And good guy. Work rate. He is so useful to the Springbok side. Number 5, because I'm a big fan of the URC and the Champions Cup, I'm quite impressed with Ruan Nortje. And not Nortje, as the French commentators say. He's a bit of a brute force also. His work rate, he's not scared of anything, superpower. I have to go for him. I like Scott Barrett too, of course, I do, but number 5 will have to be Ruan Nortje. And I don't know if that's going to be very popular with South African fans, but that's kind of my take. Number 4, if he's available, would have to be Eben Etzebeth. I'd like to see him play a bit more rugby. The guy, have I seen him play rugby this year? He only appears for the Sharks on sort of random Friday nights in the United Kingdom. Apart from that, I don't really see much of Etzebeth. But at his best, he's a brute force, and I'd like to see him play. I would pick him at number 4. Absolutely, he's dangerous. He's dangerous. Now let's get into the props, because this was a tough one to call, really. Let's start with number 1. Now you've got Oxenche, right? I like him. I just don't know if he's the best, but I still went for Oxenche despite players like Ethan de Groot, Tyrell Lomax. It's a tough call. It was still Oxenche for me because of the guy being such a scrummaging master, really. When you look at the scrum, you have to admit that South Africa know they're scrummaging. That's why, in all fairness, guys, I have picked only Cephas for number 1, 2, and 3. I've picked Malcolm Marx at 2. I just think he's brilliant. He's such a nightmare in the rucks. He just sticks his hands in there, and he seems like an immovable force. You can't get him out of the ruck. And number 3, I picked Thomas Dutoit. I think he's going to the Stormers, or is he going to the Sharks? I believe he's going somewhere back in South Africa. Please confirm if you see this, guys. I'm curious. He's not going to the Lions, or I'd have heard of that. And he's not going to the Bulls, or I'd have heard of that too, because I follow the Bulls a bit more. I quite like them. Maybe going to the Sharks. He seems like the Sharks kind of signing. Anyway, he's good off the bench. He's good even at a starter. He's in good form also, isn't he? Did well with Bath this season. Yeah, I quite like him. So that's my 15 that I would like to see start. If I had to pick a team, let me know what you think, boys and girls. It's been a while that I hadn't made a video on this channel. I mean, 3 or 4 days, but there's not much rugby going on, and I don't want to bore you with anything that's not significant. And I can't wait for this series to kick off so we can start posting content a lot more regularly. But this is going to be amazing, and I've got a few more videos in the pipeline. I'll see you, hopefully, some of you guys in South Africa, because I will be tuning in for the game in Cape Town normally, unless something happens. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in another video.